This is BTS, a band of 7 musicians originating from South Korea. On June 6th of 2020, last year, it was made known that BTS and their label had donated $1 million to Black Lives Matter, or BLM. Shortly after, their fandom called ARMY made headlines. ARMY had launched a match-a-million campaign and had raised more than $1 million for the BLM movement. This naturally brought us to our research question. How does an online fandom collaborate autonomously, effectively, and impactfully for a cause that is seemingly unrelated to its initial purpose of formation? I am Soyeon Park, and I'm here to present our work on behalf of my colleagues Nicole Santero, Blair Kaneshiro, and Jinha Lee. Together, we answer this research question in our paper, Armed an Army, a case study of how BTS fans successfully collaborated to match a million for Black Lives Matter. To answer this question of how the fandom collaborated so successfully, we conducted a survey study asking questions about fandom structure, organizational culture, and team characteristics. We garnered 273 responses from participants who range between 18 to 63 years old. 93% of them were female, and 49 nationalities were represented. Regarding fandom structure, 55% of the participants felt that ARMY was structured, and this was because large social media accounts often served as pillars or hubs within the fandom, usually acting as informal leaders. 23%, however, felt that ARMY was not structured because ARMY lacked overall organization and had no formal organizing entity. The rest stated that ARMY was both structured and not structured at the same time for similar reasons. Everyone, however, agreed that ARMY is very interconnected and is a community that is largely flat and leaderless. To understand what kind of organizational culture ARMY embodied, we used the framework of Organizational Culture Assessment Instrument, and we identified 4 adjectives for each culture type. Then we probed ARMY's agreement of the fandom being characterized with these adjectives. Of these 4 culture types, ARMYs felt that the fandom was best represented by the market type. Market culture emphasizes winning in an external environment that is hostile rather than benign, and this is reflected by ARMY's feeling of having to fend off internet trolls and bad media image against BTS, as well as defend BTS against various accusations. Clan type was the second most identified culture type. It is characterized by shared values and goals, cohesion, participativeness, and a sense of we-ness. And this was marked by how many respondents called ARMY a family. We also probed team characteristics by using Edmondson's questions about team composition, efficacy, and psychological safety, among many others. We found that ARMYs have a positive sense of team composition. Accounting for the reverse-worded question indicated by an asterisk, we can see that ARMYs mostly believe that the fandom has enough expertise, skills, training, and experience for solving problems as well as collaborating. The perceived efficacy of the fandom was also relatively high. ARMYs felt that their goals are within their reach, though averaging around slightly accurate for the statement that the fandom can achieve tasks without requiring unreasonable time or effort. This efficacy was reflected in their text-based responses, in which 83% of the participants reported having confidence in ARMY. Last but not least, ARMY's psychological safety was found to be high, though relatively lower than team composition and efficacy. Fans felt that some ARMYs sometimes rejected others for being different, and that mistakes within ARMY could be deleterious for individuals, and these contributed to team psychological safety being lower than the other metrics. Conducting a Sobel test with these team metrics, we found that team composition mediates the relationship between ARMY's psychological safety and efficacy. Our results highlight some of the factors that have been critical to ARMY being successful, and we're continuing our work in understanding the ARMY structure and network. We're also conducting research on how ARMYs get situated within this large fandom and find their roles in the community, as well as how ARMYs are navigating misinformation within the fandom as they find and continue to perform their roles as an ARMY. So please refer to our manuscript for more details on this research and stay tuned for our upcoming works. Thank you.